Back to Africa means forward to Africa.
What about Back to Africa now?
Well, of course, because we are not able to defend our riches, the abundance that Mother Nature has given to us, because now mankind has made sophistication in every dimension, whether it is scientific, industrial, or political. So the whole schema, we cannot deal with it because we are not as educated in the way of exploiting the earth and destroying the earth and Mother Nature. So one is that when Africa generation will have this education, then we'll be able to defend ourselves and defend the riches of Africa. And Africa will have a glorious millennium. So in fact, what we are saying back to Africa is, yes, indeed, we have to look back because they put Africa back. So the Chinese now fighting for a piece of Africa, and the Americans are fighting for Africa. And the problem with Gbagbo and with Ouattara is showing us that the international, they will do anything, sacrifice any amount of human lives to get their boys in power so that they can continue to exploit our riches. And when we say no, then they will divide the country and they will do whatever they can to how you say, to abase our right to dignity and to human rights. So the French army and the French government was very involved in this recent fiasco, political fiasco with Gbagbo and Ouattara. So what this is trying to show us now, that when this new generation come, where the population of Africa will be educated in the cities of Africa, I'm not talking about in the villages, I'm talking about in the cities. When we will have that power, then maybe there's a chance we will have our own. But for now, we have to be careful of all of them. We have to be careful of the French, of the Germans, of the Americans, because they have one thing on their mind. We have to be careful of the English, we have to be careful of the Dutch and all of them. Because if we don't be careful of them, they never think about us. They're thinking only about how to get more rich. And they don't mind if we get more poor while they are getting more rich. We know the story. So right now, we have to educate ourselves to be able to be responsible to manage the riches for our generation and generation to come. That is in Africa, because Africa is rich. So when we realize this now, that in fact, they want to put Africa in the back, so we have to look back and say, oh, let's look back to Africa. Realize and know one thing: Africa is the future of all humanity. Because when things go bad over here, we have to be even careful that they don't come with army and put away our people, so that they can, if there's a Chernobyl happening in France and they have no space for their people, then they are going to come with army and make big place reservations so that they can put their contaminated, radiated people in our Africa and say, well, I'm sorry, but we need space for our people, and they will protect their people and put their, they won't go to Mars. They're gonna go to Africa and put their people because there's nuclear explosion. Imagine. That is why we now Africans, we have to be very, 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 very conscious of possessing our wealth and educating our people, our young people, especially in the informatical world, so that tomorrow we can control our, and especially also in the occult world, so that we can also have spiritual powers. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Back to Africa means forward to Africa. See now, backward never, forward ever. See, respect.
Yes, sir.
Africa is our future. Name of Yoruba, no. So.